11. Please pass the hacksaw. Childhood is, or has been, or ought to be, the great original adventure. A tale of privation, courage, constant vigilance, danger, and sometimes calamity. Michael Chabon. By second grade, it was clear that although Zach Smith could sit in a chair, he had no intention of staying in it. He was disruptive in class, spoke in a loud voice, and had a hard time taking turns. His parents fed him a series of medications for ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, many of which didn't work. Zach, who attended school in West Hartford, Connecticut, was placed in special classrooms, where he showed a propensity for lashing out. Twice suspended, he was miserable. He didn't seem to care about anything at school. When his parents realized that his path would likely lead to worse trouble, they pulled the ripcord on 8th grade. Where Zach eventually landed was spread-eagled on an east-facing slab of quartzite in Pendleton County, West Virginia. His chin-length, strawberry blonde hair curled out beneath a minion yellow helmet. A harness cinched his t-shirt, the sleeves of which have been ripped off, obscuring the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare lettering. "I have a wedgie!" he bellowed out from 20 feet up. Belaying him was another 14-year-old, scrawny Ernest Daniel. Earlier in the day, Daniel had asked, "Do I have to belay? I'm only 95 pounds. Both kids still looked a little apprehensive, but there was no question they were paying full attention to the wall of rock and to the rope that united them. Yesterday, in ground school, under a picnic awning in a campground near Seneca Rocks, they and 12 other scrappy kids from the academy at SOAR learned how to tie figure 8s and prusik, the knots that would save their lives. Their ages spanned 5 years, but crossing this vast spectrum of puberty, the younger kids looked like they could be the square roots of the biggest ones. Physically, Zach occupied an awkward middle ground, lanky and knock-kneed, sporting an alarmingly deep voice behind a crooked smile. He gradually moved his right foot to a new nub and pulled himself higher. He scrambled upward, finally victoriously slapping a carabiner on the top rope before rappelling down. "Oh man, my arms hurt," he said at the bottom, his pale cheeks flushed from sun and exertion. Daniel accidentally stepped on the climbing rope and, per the rules, had to kiss it. This happened so often no one remarked on it. For a moment, both boys cheered on Tim, a small boy from Atlanta with eyeglasses so thick they looked like safety gear. The aspirational name tape on the back of his helmet read, T-Bone Sizzler. A group chant began. "Go, Tim, go! Go, Tim!" Before enrolling in the outdoor adventure-based boarding school for grades 7 through 12, Zach, like a lot of these boys, had already spent some summers at SOAR, a well-established camp based in Balsam, North Carolina, for kids with ADHD and related learning disabilities. Its founding principle, radical several decades ago and still surprisingly underappreciated, was that kids with ADHD thrive in the outdoors. Since then, ADHD diagnoses have exploded, to the point where 11% of American teens are said to have it, while recess, physical education, and kids' access to nature have miserably shriveled. Zach's first SOAR summer involved a 3-week stint of horsepacking in Wyoming. Before the trip, he would have preferred to stay home and play video games. "I hated nature," as he put it. But something clicked under the wide Wyoming skies. He found he was able to focus on tasks. He was making friends and feeling less terrible about himself. Zach turned his restlessness into a craving for adventure, which is perhaps what it was meant to be all along.